$72 million. $72 million. And only one touchdown. That's exactly what Kenny Golladay gave the New York Giants in 2 years with the team. What's going on, everybody? This is NYG Jeffy T 85 here, and I'm bringing you some breaking news surrounding the New York Football Giants. And the Giants, they've done it. The Giants are officially releasing wide receiver Kenny Golladay on the first day of free agency, which will be on March 15th. And with this move, the Giants will gain $6.7 million in cap space for 2023, and Golladay will officially be off the books for the 2024 season. This is ending one of, if not the biggest disastrous contract given to an NFL free agent in the entire history of the New York Giants. Kenny Golladay, over his career with the New York Giants, he totaled 43 receptions for 602 yards and 1 touchdown after he signed a $72 million deal in the 2021 offseason with the New York Giants. Golladay would have been making $13,250,000 as a base salary going into the 2023 season. Yeah. This was an absolute and mitigated disaster from the word go. This was an absolute and mitigated disaster when the Giants signed this guy. Dave Gettleman, in 2021 offseason, wanted to literally swing for the fences with the 6'4", 214-pound, 29-year-old wide receiver out of Northern Illinois. He thought that Golladay was going to be able to come in, like a lot of us Giants fans were at the time. And Giants fans, don't kid yourself. There's a lot of us that were very happy about Kenny Golladay coming onto this team in 2021. We thought that this guy was going to be that game-changing Plexico Burress, Amani Toomer, Hakeem Nicks type wide receiver on the outside. That would be that physical one-on-one matchup, contested catch guy that can also be able to go deep and pluck the ball out of the air and be that outside wide receiver that the Giants have been looking for since Plexico Burress, since Amani Toomer, since Hakeem Nicks. And he was anything but that. In fact, he only played 26 games over his Giants career. He missed 2 games in 2021 due to an MCL sprain. And in 2022, he missed also 5 games due to an MCL sprain. He had multiple knee issues in both years. 2022 was an absolute and mitigated disaster. And in fact, if it wasn't for a prayer throw down the field by Davis Webb to Golladay, where Golladay on the last play of his Giants career went up and plucked the ball out of the air for a touchdown over Darius Slay, he would have went an entire Giants career without scoring a touchdown. This was... A lot of people are going to say Nate Solder's free agent contract was worse. I'm going to say it. This was the worst contract ever given to a free agent in New York Giants history. For a guy that we paid the amount of money for to be a difference maker at the wide receiver position, this was an unmitigated disaster from the word go. And I'll at least give Golladay some credit, not a lot, but some credit, with the fact that he at least was giving effort during the rest of the 2022 season, even if he wasn't being factored into the offense. But the case in point is, I believe from the beginning that Golladay, who was coming off hip surgery in 2020, and he missed pretty much the entire 2020 football season, that this guy was not right, that this guy was not healthy, and that Dave Gettleman, in a panic move, pretty much sold his soul to sign this guy to be a difference maker and to save his job. He knew the Giants needed wide receiver help. And with this signing of Kenny Golladay and obviously the drafting of Kadarius Toney, those are two of the biggest disastrous moves in New York Giants history. Toney didn't even last half the season with the Giants. And congratulations to him, he won a Super Bowl. And he played well in the Super Bowl. And Kenny Golladay has been an absolute monster disappointment. I mean, you really can't have any explanation than the production or lack of production this guy gave you through his Giants career. 602 yards and a touchdown in 43 receptions. For a guy you paid $72 million, 43 receptions for 602 yards. Darius Slayton, in one season, had more production than your $72 million wide receiver you signed in free agency last year. And it's no wonder this is a big reason why Gettleman lost his job. Because you can't convince me otherwise that the Giants panicked when they signed this guy. And I admit it, I wanted Golladay too. I did. Because I thought that this guy was the same guy that he resembled in Detroit. But I should have known after he had that injury in 2020 that caused him to miss 11 games of the season. He played 5 games and then packed it in the rest of the season because of that hip injury. You don't understand. A hip injury is damaging to a wide receiver that needs his hips in order to turn in and out of his breaks when he's trying to get open on his routes. This was a disaster. I can't say it enough how much a disaster this wide receiver signing was. And this signing will be the explanation point of Dave Gettleman's entire New York Giants general manager tenure, along with Nate Solder. That you paid this guy the amount of money that you did, and he gave you this little production. 4 years, $72 million for a guy that didn't even give you more than 1 touchdown in his Giants 2 years. And like I said, I can't completely fault Golladay because at least the guy was giving effort even if the ball wasn't coming his way. Because at least he was going out there and he was blocking. He was at least giving effort on the football field, pancaking people, but we did not sign him to a $72 million deal to be a blocking wide receiver. We signed him to be a game-breaking wide receiver on the outside, and that's everything he was not. He was anything but a game-breaking wide receiver. The only thing he was breaking was making Giants fans break their furniture because of how ineffective this guy was on the football field. Case in point, the guy just lost it. He didn't have it anymore. He lost it. That hip injury did him in. And I hope the guy can at least find a way to bounce back after this disastrous tenure with the Giants. And here's a great quote by Field Yates. In the end, the Giants will have paid Kenny Golladay $36 million for 43 catches and 1 touchdown. If that doesn't tell you right there the lack of production that this guy gave us, I don't know what will. It's a shame. It's honestly a shame. But this is what happens when you have a desperate general manager at the time doing whatever he can to save his job. And that's exactly what Dave Gettleman did. He got desperate and he wanted to go out there and try to sign a guy that he thought was going to be a difference maker and help out his young quarterback, Daniel Jones. And instead, it hindered Daniel Jones. It didn't help Daniel Jones. And now we can go back to this period in time, if you want to, Giants fans, about the disaster known as Kenny Golladay. $72 million, $36 million paid in 2 seasons for 43 catches, 602 yards, and 1 touchdown. Myself and all the Giants fans bought into the hype with this guy. Thought he would be the next Plexico Burress. And don't you lie, Giants fans. You are like me. A lot of us thought that this guy could be a difference maker. But the one thing we did not factor in from the beginning is how much damage that hip injury he suffered in 2020 really did to him. Because in my opinion, and I said this from the beginning, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, when you are a wide receiver and you have the hip injury that this guy had, it's going to zap away your explosiveness on the field. And just like that, the Kenny Golladay era in New York comes to an end. It's just a shame because I really wish that. Oh, here's another great nugget. Kenny Golladay will receive a $4.5 million cash roster bonus per his Giants release. So the Giants are paying him to go. It's just like one of the fact that I really thought this guy could be a difference maker for this football team in 2023, in 2021, and 2022. And he wasn't. He just didn't have anything left. That's all that it was, is that he just didn't have anything left. He didn't have anything left in the tank. And it's a shame that that happened, but he just, the explosiveness that he had was taken out of him after he got that hip injury in 2020. So, I just want you guys to let me know, and I'm just scratching my head because I have to scratch my head on why this went downhill so quickly. And why this was such an unmitigated disaster from the beginning. But you guys let me know in the comments section. Kenny Golladay, when the first day of the new league year begins, March 15th, will be released. The Giants will save $6.7 million in cap space. Whoop-de-doo. His money will be officially off the books in 2024. The Giants will have a dead cap of $14,700,000. That's going to be the cap hit for the Giants in 2023 because of releasing Kenny Golladay June 1st. But you guys let me know in the comment section what you think about this. Kenny Golladay will be released on March 15th. $72 million for 43 catches, 602 yards, and 1 touchdown. You guys let me know in the comment section. As always, hit that like button if you haven't already, and give a sub to NYG Jeffy T85 for more news updates and chatter surrounding the New York Giants, and turn on the bell for notifications on the next video or short dropping on the channel surrounding the Giants. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Take it easy, and let's go New York Football Giants. As always, together blue, everyone.